everyone, and welcome to Time and Money Mastery. We are your co-hosts. I'm Indiana.
And I'm Sam. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our episodes. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Time and Money Mastery podcast. I'm here in Sydney today, and I'm here with my money friend, Liv, the Stingy Bitch. Hi, Liv.
Hi.
I'm so excited to be doing my first in-person podcast. This is really exciting.
I'm so excited to be on here. Thank you for having me.
No worries. So we're actually here sitting across from each other in the office, and it's a great time. I'm just down in Sydney for a little bit, seeing family and friends before I start my new job. And yeah, I've been really wanting to meet up with Liv for a while. She's actually, one of the very first accounts that I followed when I started my money journey. And yeah, it's kind of weird to actually be meeting you in person.
Yeah, I'm so glad you could squeeze me in. I know you've been having a hectic few days.
Yeah, it has been mental.
It's weird seeing you in person, but it's great. I like
it's like when you see someone online all the time, you're like, I know them, and then you see them in person, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I feel like we're already friends, even though we've never met before.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love this community is just awesome. But
yeah, it's great. Basically,
tell me how this all started. Like, how did you start your account? Why did you start it? Why the Stingy Bitch?
So yeah, long story, but I'll wrap it up for you guys nicely. I started helping my friend save money. She was pretty hopeless with her savings, and we were both working together at the same job, both earning the same amount. And she kind of told me one day that she just never had any money left over at the end of the pay period.
Yeah, too much month left.
Too much month. Didn't know what to what was going on. She didn't even know where she was spending it.
Yeah.
So for me, saving money was something that I guess I'd always been kind of natural at. I have always prioritized saving money. So I thought, I'm going to help this girl. And I did. She saved 12K in
Amazing.
12 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just kind of thought, that's normal. Everyone's doing that. And she said, no, people aren't doing that. People don't prioritize saving money. And I think that just really blew my mind. So I thought, how can I reach more people? How can I help more people? Because I'm really passionate about personal finance and saving and investing. And I wanted to talk to more people about it. So COVID hit. I was working 3 days a week. I had a lot of spare time.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to start a blog and an Instagram, and it's really just grown from there. It's been fun.
Yeah. So you've only had the account for 14 months, 12
months?
Yeah,
just over a year. I started it in March last year.
Yeah, amazing. And you're at 5,000 followers?
Yeah, 5 and a bit.
That's so exciting.
It's great.
It's not really about the number, is it? It's just wow, that's so many people that are I'm helping.
Yeah. And honestly, even for example, someone came up to me at work the other day, one of my colleagues, and she was like, hey, I've started investing because of you, and I'm on Spaceship and I've made $30.
That's awesome.
That just made my day. It doesn't really matter, I guess, to me how many people are following me or whether or not people actually want to do it. But I think when one person tells you that you've helped them, it's just such an awesome feeling, and I love it.
Yeah. I kind of had a moment like that just the other day. It was someone that I don't even know. Haven't met them or anything, but they posted a picture, you might have seen, of them in their car listening to our podcast, and it was our image that we made with our episode, and I just nearly bawled my eyes out because I was
cool.
This is so crazy that you're touching people that you've never even met in your life, and helping them. Well, I hope I'm helping them.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
And even when you told me, you were one of the original accounts you followed, and I kind of motivated you to start your own, I didn't know you then. I didn't know who you were, and that it really touched me. I think that's so great. And it's just an awesome feeling.
Yeah. And now look where we are.
I know. Who would have thought you'd be in my house, you're recording a podcast.
It's so cool. Now, why the name?
Oh, the name.
Yes.
I think, the name gets me a lot of attention.
Yeah. I love it though. It's very just real.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think there's a stigma around the word stingy, right? People think I don't want to be stingy, so I'll buy my friend this really expensive thing because I don't want them to think I'm stingy or whatever. And I kind of like having that play on words, because for me, prioritizing your finances and wanting to save money doesn't mean that you're stingy. It doesn't mean that you can't be generous with your money or with your time or in another way. It just means that you're prioritizing yourself and your financial freedom, your financial independence. And so I think people get a laugh out of stingy bitch, because, you know, I'm not afraid to tell people that I care about my finances. I care about my money. If you think I'm stingy, even though I don't think I am, you know, then that's on you. But yeah, I just think I hate the stigma that's around the word stingy and did you know, saving money.
Did you have hesitation in adding the word bitch?
Oh, nah. No. That's very me. I actually had more hesitation with stingy, because I thought, oh, I don't want people to think I don't want to buy them things. Or even now, sometimes I'll think, oh, I should chat my friend's coffee because I don't want them to think I'm actually a stingy bitch. Yeah, so I'm still trying to get over that, I guess, mindset. But no, the word bitch, I think the only one that has a problem with it is my nana. But everyone else is cool. Yeah.
No, I like that, because it's kind of like taking back like something that is kind of used against us, like in the money it's like, oh, you're just stingy, like you're selfish, like and also like I think as women, like we get called bitches or like you're a bitch, and it's like, well, screw you. I am a bitch.
Damn right. I'm a stingy bitch.
Like
exactly.
What of it? Like
owning it, right? Being proud of like being stingy and being a bitch. Just
take it back. If that means that you're going to be getting ahead in life and you're going to have financial freedom, like, okay, I'll be a stingy bitch too.
Exactly. That's what I think.
I love that. So in your time, like what have you found is like has helped you the most, like with your journey? Like, is it like working more? Is it cutting back? Like what?
Yeah, I think, look, it's easy to say working more helps, because it does. But for me, I'm really fortunate in that I do have a job where I can pick up more hours.
Because what do you do?
I work as a radiographer at a hospital. So it's 24/7, we can take overtime. But I have also been in positions where I can't pick up more hours, or just because the job doesn't offer it, or because I'm studying, or, you know, I might be doing other things with my time. So I think working more is not really an option for everyone. So I think for me, the biggest thing that's helped is just learning to live within my means. Which I know it sounds easier than like it probably is sometimes, but I think, just sticking, like saving more, sometimes knowing that you have to give things up in the short term for that long-term benefit. You know, it's that delayed gratification versus the instant gratification, right? But I think that's probably what helped.
And interestingly enough, you don't have a car, which I didn't realize.
I don't have a car. I know.
Was that a financial choice?
It was. So I'm originally from Perth, and I moved to Sydney 4 years ago, actually, to do my master's degree. And I had a car in Perth. You kind of have to get everywhere. But I thought, you know what, to make this move, I didn't have any financial help from my parents or anything like that. So I thought, I'll sell my car, I'll use that money, and then when I'm a bit more financially set up in Sydney, I'll buy one. But the thing about Sydney is the public transport's really good.
Yeah, it is.
And I just kind of stuck with it, and I thought, wow, I'm saving so much money. Like, I don't have to pay insurance, I don't have to pay petrol, so much cheaper.
Tires.
All of that. And then I got a moped, and so cheap. And I just haven't looked back.
Amazing.
Look, it sucks sometimes in the rain, and Sydney rains a lot, and I get stuck, you know, sitting at the lights getting poured on. But financially, it's one of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah, so you still have to pay like insurance and registration.
But it's about $300 a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, big difference.
Big difference, yeah.
And like the upfront costs of the moped.
Yeah, so I splurged on the upfront because I wanted, like, you can buy secondhand ones, $2-3 grand. Mine was about $5.
Compared to a car.
Awesome. And that was top of the range, the $5 grand one. So compared to a car, the upfront costs are very minimal as well.
And I guess it's like your safety. Like if you're buying something secondhand, you do sometimes have worries about like how it's been handled and things like that.
I think that was it for me. I was my parents were very worried about me driving a moped in Sydney traffic. So I think for me, it was the peace of mind knowing that I have ABS brakes, I've got a really nice helmet, that kind of thing.
What about when you have to do like your groceries?
Yeah.
What do you do?
So you really have to minimize how much you buy. Sometimes, one time, I learnt my lesson the hard way. I bought too much. You know, when you're in the store and you just keep buying things. And I had to leave a bag at Woolworths, and I told them, can I come back for this? And I had to do a couple of trips.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there are limits
Yeah.
to how good it is.
Yeah. But then I guess that's also teaching you to, like, you know, just buy what you need. And
Yeah,
not live in
another
excess.
good, another good money saving
Yeah.
tip. How much can you fit in your budget?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, because like your house, you live with other people, like did they already have all the furniture, or did you have to get some stuff? And like, if you don't have a car, how do you get that here?
Yeah, so I was lucky in my house. A lot of my friends had furniture. We got a lot of stuff as well from my friends' parents, secondhand furniture.
Yeah.
Our couch is actually another one of our friends who didn't need it at the time. So thanks to him for still lending us that. We have had to buy some things. So we just got new dining chairs, and I got 4 chairs for $25 off Marketplace.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Isn't Facebook Marketplace the best?
The best thing ever. I'm actually obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I've got to stop scrolling it in my spare time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was lucky in that we didn't have to buy too much. I had to buy some furniture for my bedroom, but that was okay. And when I do have to do moving, that I always use Car Next Door, the app, because it's always pretty cheap. You can borrow a van or a car, and it's nearby, and it sets you back like $100 maybe, if that.
Yeah. And like overall, like
so much cheaper. Yeah. And I know a lot of people do Go Get in Sydney as well, so that they can just use
Well, funnily enough, I actually had my car listed on Drive My Car. It's like another one.
Yep.
Up in Brisbane. And I was doing that for a while, but it just like the convenience, well, like I should say the non-convenience of not having my car just wasn't worth it.
Because someone else was borrowing it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So it makes sense. It made sense like when I was in Sydney, because like you said, the public transport is so good and the traffic's so bad, you just wouldn't drive to work. So I always had my car sitting around at home, and it was just wasting. So it was worth it then. But now that I live in Brisbane, the transport's not as good, and honestly, like I'm just too lazy. Like I just rather have my own car. Like I pay money for it. I want to keep it.
Use it.
But that is a good like hack. Like if you just need a car temporarily, use one of those sites, or even like as a side hustle if you don't use your car that much. You can list it on those sites. You just have to have like third-party insurance, and you have to make sure it's registered as business and things like that. But
I think it's a good way to get passive income as a side hustle, you know, if you're in a big city.
And you're not really needing it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I wanted to ask you, like, have you had any trouble like talking about money with your friends and family, your partner, like, or are they all pretty open-minded?
I think money conversations are something I always have to initiate, but I think I'm a very open person. So yeah, I think that I don't struggle talking about money, but there can be times, I guess, when other people don't want to talk about it. And I think it's just kind of reading the room in a way. I'm very lucky in that my partner's very open about his money. My parents have always been open about their money, and my friends are too. But I've definitely, you know, interacted with people that aren't comfortable with it. I think just knowing, you know, how to read that and how to handle the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you first got with your partner, was there any like how did you talk about like who's going to pay for what, and like now you live together, how do you split bills, or is it all just like even?
Actually, funny story, we just got a joint account.
Oh yeah, that's a big move.
First time I've ever had a joint account with anybody.
Yeah, so getting serious.
I know. So I think when we first got together, Jack, his name's Jack. He is pretty I think traditional. He would try and pay for a lot of things, but I am very adamant that everything should be equal.
Yeah.
So I would, you know, offer to buy, or like we would halve dinner, and I think he actually really appreciated that. And for him, I think he was interested in why I was doing it so much. And so I told him, this is how I feel about money. This is, you know, where I want to be, you know, financially. And I think just those initial few dates, I'd already opened up enough about it that it just became something we talked about naturally.
Yeah.
I think the longer you wait to talk about it, the harder it is. Yeah. Right? So bringing it up in everyday conversation, you know, to start with, it's just an easy way to let that flow through your relationship.
Yeah.
And now it's funny though, when we started going out, Jack had no idea about his finances. So I told him, you know, how much interest are you making on your savings? And he was like, I don't know. And it just blew my mind. I was like, what do you mean you don't know? And then I looked at his interest rate on his savings account, and it was like 0.15%.
Oh my goodness.
I know, it just blew my mind. So I think through our relationship, he's become a lot more financially like
literate.
Yeah, I think so. And now we try and do things as equal as we can.
Yeah.
So our joint account is very much, we just put in $100 a fortnight each. So that's equal. And then from that account, we pay our bills when they come. If we have to get more, we will. And groceries and things like that. And then otherwise we just do it, freely as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. It's like very like even.
Yeah.
The only thing that like, I don't have a boyfriend, so it's not
Yeah.
really an issue for me. But what if like your partner earns more than you? Is it still like, do you think it should still be 50-50, or should it be like, in relation to earnings?
Yeah, I think that's very relationship specific. And I think it all comes down to communication.
Yeah.
Just like everything does. I feel like having that chat with your partner to figure out what your money goals are and where you guys are heading as a team. Because I think being in a relationship is all about being in a team. If you are renting with each other and you are looking, long term, what is your goal for that relationship? Like I don't know, I feel like if one partner's earning more and the other's earning less, you're a team, right? So you should do it to their means.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree, because so I have a question, like, as you're in a relationship, like how, and you kind of do things 50-50. So I'm assuming your wages are kind of on par, but what if like your partner is out earning you like significantly? Would you still think it had to be 50-50, or should it be kind of like in relation to your earnings?
Yeah, I think that definitely comes down to every relationship is very different, and every relationship is very specific, but I think it's all about communication. So I think the most important thing in any relationship, and like not just about money, but about any topic, is communicating like what you both want.
Yeah.
So for me, like I have actually been in the past with someone who earned more than me. And he actually paid a little bit more rent than I did, just because, based on income, it just seemed a bit more fair.
Yeah.
And I kind of was living within my means, and he was living within his means, and we were both comfortable with the number. So at the moment, Jack and I, we earn pretty similar. Yeah. So we do pay equal. Yeah. But I think if we were in a different situation, like I would definitely communicate about what I was comfortable with, because especially in relationships, you don't want to feel like you have to compete with the other person. Yeah. You don't want to feel pressure to like, oh, they earn more than me, so I have to be paying as much as
that's
they
honestly
are.
like how I felt in my past relationship. He earned significantly more than me, and like it just constantly felt like I was drowning, and like all my financial goals went to the side because he was living above his means, but that's how he wanted to live his life. Whereas you kind of get dragged along with it, and you're like, well, I don't want to go out for dinner 3 times a week.
I can't afford it.
I want to eat leftovers. Yeah. And then it becomes a disparity because we didn't talk about it until it was like a really big issue. Yeah. And I think like, you're totally right. It's just, you've got to bang it on the head nice and early.
I think, nice and early. Because I think, look, this might not be true for everyone, but in my opinion, if your financial goals aren't aligned with your partner, it's going to be really difficult to get ahead in that relationship, because financial goals are a big part of your life. And a lot of couples, eventually like they fight about money. And if one partner is constantly living like above their means, like you were, it can really test that relationship, and maybe, it's not meant to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And well, I'm single, so here we are.
But you want to find someone, that's like on your team.
And like it's just, that's a learning lesson. And like now I know any relationship I was to go into moving forward, it would be like, where are you at with money, like and making sure that doesn't impact me. And
good.
I don't,
and that needs to be a priority. But even I feel like not just in romantic relationships, even with share houses, living with your friends, or like not even just share houses, like going out for dinner with your friends.
Oh my goodness.
If I'm not earning as much as my friend, I don't want to be going out to 5-star restaurants every weekend just to catch up. I want to be going for a coffee or going for a walk. You take that into consideration with every single relationship you have. And when I moved into this share house, all of my friends were open in the fact that one of my friends is paying a mortgage as well as rent, so she couldn't afford to pay that much. Another friend, you know, this was how much she could afford. So we all worked together to make sure that we were all living within our means and making sure that we felt comfortable with that amount.
Yeah.
So I think that's important.
Sounds like you've got some good friends.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm lucky.
Yeah. Some people can get really uncomfortable talking about money. So
yeah,
it's good.
I hope that changes.
I know, right? Why do we feel so uncomfortable? Like, I don't
think it's just society.
Yeah.
You know, it's the whole stingy bitch thing.
Yeah.
If you talk about money, you're a stingy bitch.
Like,
apparently.
yeah. Or you're obsessed. Like, I've
Yeah.
been told, like, why are you so obsessed with money?
Yes.
And I'm like, why are you not?
Yeah. I know. It's just, it blows my mind.
Money is like,
that.
yeah, money is the vehicle that's going to take you where you want to go, or it's not. Like, if you
Yeah.
get into a lot of debt, you're going to be withheld from doing awesome things in your life. So
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely something we should talk about.
Yeah.
And kind of on that note, I want to talk to you about like burnout and mental health and money, because I know you've taken a break recently.
I did.
From
yes.
Instagram, because it was kind of getting a bit much. Tell me a little bit about that.
It was. Yeah. So I completely understand, like, when people say, you know, why are you so obsessed with money?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I feel like I can get obsessed with working.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
Me too.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's really hard for me to slow down. So I'm teaching myself how to slow down and allowing myself, you know, the freedom to enjoy how hard I've worked up until now. So like I said, I work at a hospital, so I'm always taking overtime. And then I was doing my Instagram as well and producing content for that really regularly. And
people don't realize how much work goes into it, right?
So much work. Sometimes I tell my friends
Yeah.
how much work I put in, and they're like, wow, that is crazy.
Yeah.
And I love doing it, don't get me wrong. I love reaching out to people and talking to people in the community, meeting people like you.
Yeah.
It's so much fun, but it becomes like a second job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. So I had to take a step back just for a few weeks, just to allow myself that time to really focus on my mental health.
Yeah.
Just making sure my mental well-being was all sound. Because I think sometimes it's really easy to forget how important your mental health is.
Yeah. And do you feel like, because there is this rise of like finfluencers, which is like finance influencers,
yes,
do you think there's like a lot more like pressure on yourself to be like, oh well, you know, I don't have as many followers, or my net worth isn't as much, like that sort of, is that kind of where you felt like it was too much?
Yeah. 100%. It's this whole comparison thing on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
You see someone that posts their net worth and you think, oh, you know, we're the same age, why don't I have that much money?
Yeah.
Why don't I have that much invested?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's something I am really passionate about. I don't think it really matters how much your net worth is, because it doesn't, you know, tell you who you are as a person, and it doesn't give you any value.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so many more things in life. Like having a big net worth is great, and it means you've worked hard to get to where you are, but those things don't take into consideration the life you've lived. You know, have you been traveling? Have you moved cities? Have you had some hardships in your life that you've had to overcome? And I think seeing people on Instagram, you don't know what they've gone through. You don't know the life they've lived, or if they've had any financial hardships or how much privilege they've had. And so this whole comparison thing, it's so hard sometimes. And so I worry about that on Instagram. Yeah.
Especially like I find for me, it's like seeing people younger than me that are maybe like seem like they're doing better than me. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like I thought I was doing good, but maybe I'm not doing so good.
Yeah.
But it's like, you really just got to focus on yourself, stay
100%.
in your own lane.
I love that. I saw you post that once, stay in your own lane. And it's just stuck with me ever since.
Yeah.
Because I think Instagram's a highlight reel. These people look like they're doing so well, but you don't actually know how they're doing.
Yeah. And maybe they are doing well on the surface, but their social life or their family life is being, you know, left behind. You don't really know the full story.
You don't. Yeah. And so I think, that's the whole thing with Instagram. So I took a break from it.
Yeah.
Just to see if, you know, my motivation would come back for it. And I've come back to it now, which is great. I'm very happy I'm back, but I'm doing it a bit more slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit more, you know, staying away from seeing what other people are doing and just focusing on me. And if people want to engage with that, then I'll be stoked. It
might be time to declutter. Like declutter your followers, and just, I do it all the time. Yeah. And that's probably why my numbers go up and down. Because I'm like, I don't follow anybody that makes me feel shit about myself.
That's so good.
Yeah, because like, why?
Yeah.
Like if I wanted that, in like, there's plenty of things around me in person that I could do that with. If I don't allow that in my real life, why would I allow that in my online life?
100%.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I think like for me, like if my followers, like if I'm making you feel shit about yourself, unfollow me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's cool.
Yeah. And like tell me.
Yeah, tell me.
Tell me if I'm doing something, because I never want to be like, oh, she's that annoying person flashing her net worth in my face.
Yeah.
I always hope that it's inspiring rather than making you feel like crap about yourself.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree.
And like when it comes to mental health, like what are some things that people can do that are like maybe like lower budget sort of things? Because, you know, I think when people think mental health, they think like counselors or psychologists, which is great, don't get me wrong, but it can be really expensive.
Yeah, it can be. And I actually just shared this on my Instagram the other day because I was talking to a friend, just talking about mental health services, and my friend told me that they would like to go to one, but they couldn't afford it. And yeah, and it's really sad though, because there actually are so many mental health services in Australia that are free or they're cheap, and that, you know, people can afford. So, you know, like my workplace, for example, I work for the government, offers counselling to employees for free and to their friends and families.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I know a lot of workplaces do that. My mum's used to do it. Yeah, so it's definitely...
Is that the EAP, like a assistant program? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my new job has that, but it's like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's called EAP, and it's so easy. You just call them and you get free counselling.
Is there like a limit?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, that's
I think
good.
it's pretty much.
And does it have to be like close, like your first line of family, or like close friends, or like?
Well, actually, someone I know just signed up like to it like through me. They didn't even ask how they knew me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I don't really think it could just be an acquaintance, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's something to look into. Also, I don't know how well known it is, but the GP referred mental health care plans. So you can just go to any GP. Just tell them, you know, you're feeling anxious or you're not really feeling very good.
Yeah.
And they can give you up to 10 free sessions with a psychologist.
Yeah, I think at the moment it's more because of COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know when it ends, so don't quote me. But
yeah.
I know during the height of COVID, it was 20.
Wow.
You could actually get.
Like for free.
Yeah. And that's how it should be.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
so
10 is not enough.
Yeah.
Like, that's like not even one a month, but it's still a good start.
Yeah, definitely.
And probably more than a lot of other countries have. Like we have a pretty good healthcare system.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
Yeah.
And I also, you know, doing other things that aren't just psychology.
Yeah.
I you know, my friends and I were all feeling a bit low a few weeks ago, and we signed up for this yoga trial. So it was a month of unlimited yoga for $49.
I love yoga.
Yeah, it's so good. We did a month and it was literally $50, and it was so good. And I think it really benefited my mental health. So, you know, doing trials like that, or even, you know, online yoga classes with free apps.
Yeah.
Just spending time in nature.
Yeah, I think that's a good one, because like we're so like on technology all the time, and it makes you feel like there's always something to do and you're always in a rush.
Yeah.
So definitely I had trouble unwinding, that's for sure. I find baths are like just
so good.
Rejuvenating. Like I step into that bath and I'm like, all my problems are gone.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And like that's free. You don't have to spend money on that.
Yeah.
Even just going and seeing a friend that you haven't seen for a while or something like that. Like, but also I think, you know, we should make it normal to go and seek help, like professional help when we need it. Like I am in the process at the moment of going and finding a psychologist, well actually a psychiatrist, because I put it off for so many years. Like,
yeah, we always do.
Because it's so expensive.
It is.
But you know what? Like what better investment is there than in yourself? And
yeah,
I always preach that. But I always take it from the idea of like career and business and that kind of thing. So I need to take my own advice. Invest in my mental health. And like it is scary. Like I rang up and I made an appointment and they're like, it's going to be $430 for one session. And I was like, oh my God.
I know.
But she was like, it's okay. Like Medicare gives you $230 back. So really it's $200.
That's pretty good.
Like, for my mental health, it's totally worth it.
So worth it. And, you know, we spend all this money on gyms and our physical health and, you know, doing things to make our bodies look good.
Yeah.
So why don't we invest that money into our brains as well, into our head?
Exactly.
I actually started listening to this podcast a few months ago. It's called The Psychology Sisters. And I'm obsessed with it. Yeah, I post about it all the time because I love them. And they have this online psychology business. It's called the Psych Collaborative. Yeah. And it's so good. I started meeting with one of the girls. and it's $125 for an hour. So really cheap.
Compared to regular sessions.
Yeah, it's like a cheaper alternative, because their whole thing is that they want to make mental health care accessible for everyone and affordable. And they're so good about it. Like they say, oh, if you can't afford this week, let me know. We can work around your payday. We can just do a few, and then when you can afford it, like just pay us back, that kind of thing. So they're so open to everyone.
So if people want to find out, what's their...
It's called the Psych Collaborative on Instagram. And they also have the podcast and Instagram called the Psychology Sisters. So I'd really recommend it.
Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes, because it's like any help that we can give people is awesome.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's important.
Amazing. Well, my other question for you, before we wrap it up, because I don't want to take up all your day, is, you know, what's something that you wish you could have told yourself about money 5 years ago?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, anything around like money regrets, or like, you know, spend money on that thing that you were like, no, I can't afford. Like looking back now.
5 years ago, I think, don't sweat the small stuff. So for me, you know, I'm all about hitting financial goals. I want to hit this goal and I want to invest this much and save as much as I can. But I think sometimes you got to let go of that, you know, so spend your money on things that you really love and don't think about it again, because in 5 years' time, that thing that you bought is going to be amazing. Like, I look back at how much I traveled and I don't regret that at all, because, you know, you don't remember how much you spent on your travels. You just have the best memories. So I think, yeah, don't sweat it. Like, if you're spending a little bit more on the things that you love, but I don't know, I guess just find that balance, that healthy balance.
Like spend intentionally,
spend on things you love, and then like save the rest. You know, don't spend mindlessly. Just,
and to keep up. I found that was something I used to do when I lived in Sydney. It's very like appearance based, I found here, or in the circles I was in, and it was very much about keeping up with the latest trends and hairstyles and clothes and what car you drive, and it's not important.
It's too much. Just be you.
Those things don't matter.
Yeah. And if someone tells you like, oh, you know, you're stingy for trying to save money, like, just do you. Cut them out of your life. You don't really need that negativity in your life.
Yeah. And find people who like do get your financial goals and will support you.
Yeah. Like this financial community, I feel like I've never had so much financial support in my life. Like everyone is so great. And every time, you know, on this Instagram community, someone hits a goal, it's like we've all hit a goal.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes, like surround yourself with people that are similar minded to you, I guess, about your finances. Yeah. And talk about it with your friends and family.
We need to like make it normal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think, yeah, the more we talk about it on podcasts like this, like what you're doing is amazing. Yeah. I feel like the more, that's okay. I feel like, yeah, the more people that are going to get into it. Yeah.
And just lastly, why do you care about money? Like, you could just like not care about money and just spend it. Like,
I think that for me, it's all about financial freedom. So it's not actually about the money. Yeah. I think it's about, in the future, I don't want to be, you know, stuck in some shitty job because I have bills to pay. Yeah. I don't want to be like stuck, you know, somewhere or doing something because, you know, I have a mortgage to pay, or like I can't afford to leave. And I think with financial freedom, like I want to go traveling as much as I can. Yeah. I want to, you know, work less hours and live my life to the absolute fullest. Yeah. And I think the only thing that can provide that is financial freedom. You know, setting yourself up for this life where you can retire early so that you can go to yoga every day and go to brunch with your friends. Like that's all I'm all about. Like I feel like I'm not obsessed with the money. I just really want that financial freedom. I want to live my life on my terms and not because I have to.
Funnily enough, like the reason that I started the abundance movement and the podcast and everything was, I don't want women especially, and like it's men and women, but women especially, to be stuck in bad relationships. Yes. Because of money. Because so many times women are in like abusive relationships or just toxic, unhealthy relationships or situations or jobs, or, you know, they're getting sexually harassed by their boss, but they can't afford to leave. Like, because I've experienced that myself, and I've also experienced being in bad relationships because of money. And you do not want to be in that position. And that's the whole reason why I wanted to do this, because it's the same kind of thing. It's that freedom of, you don't have to rely on someone. You don't have to rely on a shitty job. Like, you can be independent. And I think women especially aren't empowered enough to be financially independent.
Yeah. Can I just say, I'm very glad you're out of all of those bad situations.
Yeah.
And like looking at you now, like you've come so far. So that's very impressive.
Thank you.
But yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think not enough women are financially empowered.
Yeah.
I think our generation's changing things,
Yes.
don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But I think it's kind of like with superannuation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really passionate about superannuation, especially for women, because like I can't remember the statistics, I've posted them on my page before, but so many women, when they're older, they don't have enough superannuation.
Yeah.
So they either rely on their partners or, you know, they're living in poverty, and they have to keep working until they're really old because they can't do anything.
And is that generally because we go and have families and we
Yeah.
start working? Yeah.
100%. And like, there's nothing wrong with that, stopping working or going part-time to raise a family. Like that's really great. But I think so many women, they feel like they have to stay in that family or whatever because they're not, financially set up for themselves.
You know, funnily enough, I actually saw something briefly the other day it was like a debate about, you know, if the woman, say the wife goes and, you know, starts having children and she has to leave work, should the partner be contributing to her superannuation?
I saw this the other day too. I know.
Yeah.
I actually showed that to Jack and I was like, great, can't wait for you to be contributing to my super.
It's actually really interesting because, if the woman's making the sacrifice, and it's not always the case, sometimes the man stays home, but if the woman's making the sacrifice to leave her job and, you know, risk her superannuation and things like that, maybe the man should be contributing. I don't know.
And I know that there's tax benefits for the partner to contribute to the super. So it's definitely another good reason to do it.
Yeah.
But I kind of think that they should.
Yeah.
I think why
so.
not?
Yeah. It like you said, if like they're a team, then, you know,
it
should be pitching.
But again, something to talk about your partner with like early on.
Exactly.
Don't get to the situation and then try and force your partner to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's something that you guys need to communicate about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I agree. Like I think, you know, a woman works so hard at home, but it's unpaid work.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I don't have a family myself, but like I see women that have families and they work so hard. They're exhausted.
They don't switch off 24/7.
And they're not making any super. So I think, things like that, like the partner contribution, the spouse contribution, whatever it's called, is something that's really great.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like women, younger women now, voluntarily contributing more to their super so that they're setting themselves up for the future so that in those years where they're not at work or they're working less, you know, they've already made some voluntary contributions beforehand to try and, you know, grow those savings through.
Yeah, and there's tax benefits as well. So
all about the tax benefits.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I agree with you about the, you know, women getting empowered thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to stay in a crap relationship. You want to have that freedom. And I think even when, you know, I get married and, you know, settle down, like I've talked to my partner at the moment, and I've kind of said, look, I'm happy to do some things joint, but my investments, they're my investments. This is kind of, I think I would always keep something separate. Not that I think we're going to get divorced or I'm not going into it thinking that, but I just think that there should always be some kind of safety net for women.
And independence. Like, why not?
Why not?
Yeah. And I think like if you came into the relationship with those things, they should stay with you.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
That's okay.
I feel like we could honestly talk like all day.
I know.
But you have to get to Barrel and I have to get to a lunch. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And where can people find you if they want to, you know, get in touch?
So you can contact me on my Instagram page. It's thestingy.bitch. Or all my details are on there. So anything else, just contact me through there.
No worries. And I'll drop it in the show notes.
Cool. Thank you
so much.
All right. See ya.
So that's a wrap. If you loved today's episode, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and let us know why you loved it.
And if you know someone who needs to hear this, then send it their way and share it to your stories, tagging us at Time Money Mastery.
Feel like you're wanting just a little more? Jump on over to our Facebook community. You can find the link in the show notes.
That's all from us today, fam. We'll see you soon.